Well, greetings and salutations, and welcome once again to the Newsman Weekly Podcast, episode number 65. You may have noticed some new music this week. Normally, you would hear local country singer Luke Watson banging out this show's theme song, Smoke and Drink. As you can likely guess by this week's special music, the scariest season of the year is nearly upon us. Ladies and gentlemen, it's almost Halloween, which is probably the second biggest holiday left or now in the United States, right behind Christmas. We do have the owner of the biggest and best haunted house in the Midwest as our guest later today, Vic Amesquita, whose blood prison at the former Ohio State Reformatory. They will soon throw open its cell doors for another season of frightful haunts. Vic's going to join us in a few minutes, so stay tuned for that conversation. For now, I am joined again today by Zac Hayden, the executive producer of the Newsman Weekly, and also Hayden Gray, the show's official videographer, for at least one more week.
One more?
One more. Maybe not after this one. This might be the last one. Good morning, gentlemen. How the hell was your weekend?
Morning. Too short.
Okay, Hayden, thanks for your contribution.
Thanks, it was all right. It was good. Weather was good.
Yeah. You guys were off this weekend, right? Didn't have anything to do, hang out?
Yeah.
I went to two baseball games.
Two baseball
in Cleveland.
Games. Why?
Because my guards are in a playoff push, man.
Oh, Jesus.
What do you
Please. Mean? What, for the 18th seed so they can get swept?
Well, whatever.
Oh,
it's this is our playoffs in September.
Baseball is over.
Baseball's not over.
Oh, it's over.
Baseball's just starting.
No, it's over.
Playoff baseball is one of the greatest things, and you cannot disagree with that.
I am following the playoff run.
Sorry that the Cardinals...
No, I'm following the Cardinals, the playoff run of the Springfield Cardinals, who are going to win the Class AA title this year.
Okay.
Well, and we called up the...
that's baseball.
We called up the first-round draft pick. We got Liam Doyle. We got out of University of Tennessee. Mm-hmm. He's already pitching AA.
Here we go.
Started Saturday night, pitched 2 shutout innings, struck out 3.
Love it.
Guy's going to be a stud.
Yep.
He'll be in St. Louis next year, and then I'll care about baseball.
All right,
again.
That's fine because
you
now
got to keep track of those prospects.
That's all. St. Louis these days, that's all we got is prospects.
That's okay.
Now that I've seen the Cardinals play in person, I can understand why you're paying more attention to their lower affiliates.
We've never talked to. Who do you like in baseball? Since you're a Steelers fan in football, please say the Pirates.
No, the Guardians. I have tried to explain before that the Steelers are like my one out of state. Oddball out.
That is the strangest thing. A Cleveland fan and a Pittsburgh fan.
Yeah, how convenient.
That explains a lot of the mental turmoil that's taking place in your head.
I've explained it since I was young.
I was young. Yeah.
They are who fascinated me when I started watching them. My dad didn't care that much about NFL football when I was younger, so I would watch guys like Hines Ward and Troy Polamalu when they were facing the Seahawks and Hasselbeck, and that's why I liked them.
Okay. Well. Again, mental gymnastics, Cleveland and Pittsburgh, all in the same brain.
But I also don't watch that much baseball. So
okay. Well, being a Guardian fan, there's not much reason to. Zac Hayden,
please. We swept the White Sox this weekend.
Ooh, we swept the White Sox.
That means swept another team.
White Sox haven't been
two
any
out
good.
Of the wild card.
White Sox haven't been any good since they threw the World Series in 1919. That's all you need to know about that.
They did win a World Series more recently than Cleveland.
Yeah,
so
who has?
That was a lucky one.
We could not do one episode of the Newsman Weekly, much less 65, without all of you. So thanks again to all of you for joining us for your weekly recharge of news, information, and pseudo-entertainment. We are grateful so many of you come to us every week. We know we couldn't do it without your support, so please, if you haven't done it already, please subscribe to the show. Give it a great rating. Once you've done that, unsubscribe, resubscribe, and re-rate it if you're going to give it another great rating. Our thanks also to the great folks at Relax It's Just Coffee for sponsoring this show and being such a great partner to the Newsman Weekly. Every day just starts better with great coffee, and our friend Paul Kimmerling and his baristas at Relax simply have the best in town at 105 North Main Street in downtown Mansfield. Okay, guys, let's talk about real sports. NFL reactions, overreactions, to week 2. Zac, let's start with you and your beloved Browns.
All right, so like I said, the Guardians are 2 games out of the third and final wild card spot. They own the tiebreaker versus Houston. And did you see that play by Brian Rocchio? White Sox had guys on first and third.
Okay, well, I have two questions to start with. How did I see the play since I don't watch it too? Who the hell was Brian Rocchio?
Brian Rocchio is their second baseman.
Who's second baseman?
It's almost Rocktober.
The Guardians.
Are you really talking Guardians? You know,
I didn't watch the Browns game. What's there to say?
Well, I'd like to know what you thought of the game. Surely you've seen the score.
It was 40 to something, 40 to 14. Or,
to the Ravens?
Yeah.
So they're 0-2.
I'm already done.
So they're 0-2, and they're 0-2 in the AFC North.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's like,
That's true. Their seasons.
I'm already
That's
done. There's some Bengals fans probably listening, so they're the luckiest 2-0 team I've ever seen.
well, they won, though. And they won with their backup quarterback.
They did.
Joe
I don't
Burrow.
know if they're lucky. Burrow
injured
might
his
be out
toe.
till December.
Well,
Wow,
they
that's
still won.
not unlucky. That's their fault for not getting an offensive line to
And Joe
protect one of the best quarterbacks in
Yeah.
football.
Joe Burrow's often hurt for that reason. They simply can't protect
Yeah.
him at all.
But
All
what
right.
are you going to say about the Browns? You know,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm hoping you say
I got
something.
nothing. I really got nothing
I
this
mean,
week. I really,
I-
truly did not watch the game.
In the show prep,
Everybody knew they were going to get crushed by Baltimore.
in the show prep yesterday, I shared with you I was going to be asking, so you might be able to say something.
Yeah.
How about
I am saying something.
Did Shador Sanders get in the game yesterday?
No, he did not.
Wait, they lost
No, he did
41
not.
to 14 or whatever, and he didn't get to
Right.
play?
No, it's just roll Flacco out there until he is in a retirement home. It's a great strategy.
Wait, I thought the Browns' defense was so great because they only gave up
Yeah.
like 17 points to the Bengals.
Yeah, I know. Me too. If I only would have watched, I could give you some info of what happened, but
All right.
I don't know. The Ravens are probably good.
Next week in show prep, if I tell you we're going to talk about the Browns, please at least watch a damn highlight.
I might, but I also
realize you'll
might
be-
cede
Come
my
on,
time
Isaac.
to talk about baseball.
Okay, well, good. Nobody else is, so thank you for fashioning a path that no one else is following. Hayden, since you piped up so quickly about the Browns, how about your Steelers?
Yeah, I know. I have no room to talk.
No, you have less than no room to talk.
But
In
what
fact, you have so little room. The ball was recovered in the end zone by a guy who didn't think you had to cover a kickoff. I know you played football.
Yes.
You played football all the way through high school in Shelby.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a point, if you were on the kickoff return team, where your coach said, hey, just let that roll?
I'm telling you, I'm not defending him at all. I told you I'm just as angry as anybody else.
I don't think you
if
are.
I'm putting myself in his head,
I don't think you're as
really
angry as the
think
people who were sitting in that stadium.
I know, but
I don't think you're as angry as Aaron Rodgers was when he saw that happen.
Oh,
I guarantee you,
Poor Aaron.
AR.
what's the question again? My biggest overreaction.
Oh, yeah, overreaction to your Steelers. I'm sorry.
My biggest overreaction is, let's just keep it in. Yesterday I was sitting there saying that we should cut Caleb Johnson, the rookie that let this happen. So we probably really shouldn't, but that's a safe overreaction. And, it's just, maybe it's good I don't watch baseball because that would just be one more way for grown men to ruin an entire day for me.
well, Pittsburgh
And
doesn't
dictate
have a
my
baseball
emotions
team,
for a
luckily
whole-
for you, and nor do they have a basketball team.
No, I'm just saying.
The Pirates, they got a AAA team. The Pirates.
And they've got a hockey team. Well, they used to have a hockey team. Now
yeah.
they're not so good anymore. So,
Carl, just get yours over with. We know your team won.
oh, thank you. From my standpoint, it's clear already. My beloved Green Bay Packers, and this is my overreaction after week 2, simply have the best team in the National Football League. Green Bay has simply beaten up two of the NFC's Final Four teams from last year. First Detroit, then Washington. The offense has been just okay, but this defense, oh my goodness. In the second year of defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, with the addition of Micah Parsons, this defense is off the charts. It has been a long time since the Packers have had this kind of defense. Going back to the days of Reggie White is when we had this kind of defense. So damn fun to watch Green Bay, and God bless. Guess who travels to Cleveland this weekend?
No.
Is it Green Bay?
Green Bay will be in
Oh,
Cleveland.
man.
Good
Yes.
Lord. Are
And
you going?
I don't know yet.
You should. You need to go.
I don't know. I can't afford NFL prices.
Well, I
so
get that, but
I think, you know what? I think if you guys want to pitch in and pay some money to help me go,
Maybe
I
our
think you-
listeners
talking
will
to his
pitch in.
listeners. Yeah, not us.
What's your Venmo?
Oh, I don't have one, but if I'll start
You could
one.
send checks
Yeah.
to your P.O. box.
Yeah, and then I have friends telling me, well, why don't you just get a media pass? I'm like, because I'm not going to be working. That's not proper.
And
So I'm not gonna do
I don't
that.
think we're getting a last-minute media pass to an NFL game
Takes
when
a
we
few more than a
don't
couple
really
days.
cover the NFL. Maybe you
Right.
can send them this podcast and say we do.
Oh yeah, we
cover the
NFL.
NFL.
We cover NFL
Cleveland might want
reactions.
any media to come. I don't know.
No, that's true. At this point, it's probably not a tough get.
Probably
Hey,
not.
before we bring in the Fright Master, Vic Amesquita, let's take a look at some local news. After all, the word news does appear in this show's title. The Budweiser Clydesdales turned north central Ohio on its collective ear the past few days, based upon crowds that came out in Mansfield, Belleville, and Ashland. Based on the page views at Richland Source, anytime you've got the word Clydesdale in a headline, people just go berserk. Clydesdale stories accounted for half of the most popular stories on the website when I looked at it over the weekend. One of the famous horses made an appearance at the Brickyard in Mansfield on Thursday. Huge crowd. The entire 8-horse team hitched up and paraded Friday at the Belleville Street Fair. Huger crowd. I don't think that's a word, but huger.
Go for it.
The team then made an appearance at the Ashland County Fair on Sunday, another huge crowd. As a fan of the St. Louis Cardinals baseball team, home of Anheuser-Busch, I have my own affinity for the Budweiser Clydesdales, but I'm not sure why this particular horse means so much to so many people around here. I understand the Budweiser Clydesdales have been around for nearly a century. They've been featured on some of the most beloved Super Bowl ads dating back to 1986. They are some of the most beloved animals in the world, but be honest, I don't get why people here love them so much. What do you guys think? What happens to your heart when you hear "Here Comes the King" music start up and you see these magnificent beasts step off?
It doesn't do much for me, but I get it. I think they're like some of the largest horses in the world.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. So that's something to see. I was at the fair, Richland County Fair this summer, and it was cool to walk through the horse barn. And they are quite magnificent creatures. So I guess it's cool. I would go see them. I don't know that I would like read every story that comes out, but whatever.
Well, Hayden, you were there Thursday. You covered the lone horse that came to the Brickyard. What was that experience like? Did your pulse quicken?
Not as much, only because if people go back and listen to our last episode, they would realize I was gallivanting in St. Louis a couple weeks ago and got to see where they live. So
you had another weekend off, or an entire week off at that point. Yeah. When do you work anymore? I'm trying to figure
I just show up when I want to.
Okay. Welcome.
But at first I was trying to figure out, maybe is this the horse that I would have seen in St. Louis, but then realized, no, this one's been on the road for a while. I don't know. I mean, there was a huge line. That was really all it was. I mean, there was some swag given away to the people waiting in line.
Beer?
So you get not free beer, but there were some koozies, some keychains. But
when I think Budweiser Clydesdale swag, I'm thinking 6-pack.
Well, they were right outside the Phoenix, and Phoenix and Budweiser don't exactly go together.
Phoenix doesn't sell a lot of Budweiser. Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, I think it's probably just the notoriety. People see this iconic symbol that's known nationwide, probably globally to a certain extent, and then you realize it's in my town, my city. So. I don't know.
The Clydesdale is a breed of draught horse, which originated in the 17th century. Takes its name from the Clydesdale district of Scotland. For those wondering about that. The first recorded use of the name Clydesdale for the breed was in 1826. And no, I did not cover the birth, did not cover that particular thing. So, all right, let's move on. A Mansfield man has filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the city of Mansfield and 2 of its police officers, claiming his constitutional rights were violated during his arrest on April 22nd. Cleveland attorneys for Charles Chip Roberts filed a 16-page lawsuit Wednesday in U.S. District Court up in Cleveland, seeking unspecified compensatory and punitive damages. The lawsuit identifies police officers Michael Nelson and Noah Waterer for their specific roles in the incident. The complaint claims that Roberts was, quote, assaulted, battered, subjected to excessive force, falsely arrested, subjected to an illegal search, subjected to a malicious prosecution, and subjected to the intentional infliction of emotional distress by Mansfield law enforcement officers, end quote. Mansfield Police Chief Jason Bauman said previously that the MPD conducted an internal review of the incident, including camera footage and witness statements, and found that the officers' actions were appropriate given the circumstances and in full alignment with established policies and procedures. Bauman said the use of force was not a response to the offense of jaywalking, which apparently is what they confronted Mr. Roberts about. It was a direct result of Mr. Roberts' actions during the encounter. For those who want to learn more about this story, I wrote about it last week. We'll have a link in the show notes.
I have a question.
Please do.
When someone sues the government or the police department, who pays for it?
Well, it depends. I mean,
good question.
every governmental entity has liability insurance.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. If it was
So
insurance,
it's going to involve an
is it
insurance
taxpayers? Like, is it just
No, you
Okay.
don't have to pay
All
a
right.
lawsuit.
You have insurance just for that reason. I'd have to go back and look if they sued the officers as police officers and also as individuals. But it's all going to come down to what happens in federal court. There was a demand for a jury trial. Most federal lawsuits don't go to trial. There's usually some sort of agreed upon settlement. We'll see what happens in this case. But
Questions that.
that gained a lot of public attention, so we'll
Yeah, it
follow it
did.
and see what happens with that particular incident and that trial if it comes to pass. Oh, speaking of things that Hayden loves, the state auditor's office has said the financial record keeping in the village of Shiloh is so damn bad it considers those books to be unauditable. In a recent letter, the state auditor said it cannot successfully evaluate the village's finances from January 1, 2022 through December 31st, 2024 due to, quote, inadequate financial records to complete an audit. Village officials have got about 90 days to fix the problem. Hayden, you wrote about this saga. Please bring us all up to date on what the hell is happening in Shiloh.
Yeah, I've had to learn a little bit about what this exactly means. Unauditable, like you said, is the declaration from the office. It's not the first time or the only place this has ever happened. I will say that. I think the most recent was possibly Crestline School District, like back in 21. This phrase was used, but essentially where they're at right now is I knew as of last week they were bringing in some help that you can bring in through the Ohio Auditor's Office called Local Government Services. They were going to come sit down last week with the fiscal officer and the mayor in Shiloh and begin to look through their documents, try and find the spots where what's making them inauditable.
And that assistance, ladies and gentlemen, is not free.
No.
Is it unauditable or inauditable?
I think I was.
The auditor's office used the phrase unauditable. So
I want to
that's
make a bumper
yeah.
sticker.
Yeah.
Like become unauditable.
Yeah, it's kind of like
With
the
the
Browns
Shiloh-
offense.
with the
It's
Shiloh.
unauditable.
Wow.
City of Shiloh logo right on there.
Unauditable.
I think
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so that they're kind of early into trying to identify, but they obviously, like you just said, it's not free. So they want to get this wrapped up and identified and corrected as quick as possible. I think the early estimate was that service could cost anywhere from $25 to $30 an hour for that help. So they've got 90 days to get things corrected, turned back in before they would face any form of legal action. So it's kind of where they're at, trying to get things figured out. They would obviously like to, by the end of this, update to some more modern software so that this doesn't happen in the future moving forward. But I'll be following this closely as it moves along, trying to get some updates for people on where they're at in the process.
Very good. Hayden will mount his Clydesdale. He will ride up to Shiloh.
That would be fun.
And ride herd. All right, that's enough for now. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be joined by Vic Amesquita, owner of the famous blood prison haunt at the former Ohio State Reformatory. Please stay with us. Well, welcome back to the Newsman Weekly podcast. As promised, joining us now is Vic Amesquita, owner and operator of the scary as hell blood prison at the former Ohio State Reformatory here in Mansfield. Vic, thanks for joining us, and thanks for getting up so damn early.
I appreciate it. I'm up early every day anyway, so there you go.
I am too, but it's usually not at work, so happy to be here. Okay, full disclosure, you and I go back a long way, back to the days of classic rock station Z98 before these guys were born,
Yeah.
and the making of the movie The Rage with Bob Kurtzman.
Yep.
But let's go back even further. Tell me about your obviously twisted childhood and what made you want to get into the business of scaring the hell out of people.
Well, what's more fun than that? You know, scaring the hell out of people. No, I mean, it was going back to the childhood stuff is like, you know, watching, you know, Friday the 13th on my uncle's couch, my aunt and uncle who would babysit us, or at my buddy's house, you know, down the road from my dad's, and watching the movies until midnight and then walking home in the dark. That whole just, you know, scary situation that kind of gives you the, you know, that itch
The heebie-jeebies.
yeah, but it gives you that, I want to do that. I want to be that guy. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where it started.
All right, but you now, I believe your 10th haunt at the former OSR. I think it's your 9th.
Yeah, this
as
will
the leader
be
of the place.
this will be the 10th year. Yeah, 10th year, my 9th as the leader, yeah.
What's been the biggest changes that you've seen in your haunt over the last decade or so?
Well, I mean, from the first year, we've just added more and more. We just kind of keep building it up more and more because it's a huge place. Yeah. The cell blocks in that area, in that building are just massive. So to make it, the way I see it, people, when they come there, they want to see something as cool. You got to give them something as cool on the inside as it is on the outside.
Dracula's Castle.
I mean,
that's
yeah.
what the place was called.
Yeah, I mean, really. And it looks like it. And I can't tout, what it is, but it's arguably one of the best venues in the country to do a haunted house in. It's arguably one of the best venues just to look at. I mean, you get people everywhere just to come to see the prison.
I mean, there are people who are scared to go in there during the day when it's not set up as a haunt.
Yeah.
I mean, I went in there in the day when it was still working and open as a prison back in 1990, and I tell people all the time, nothing is as scary as that shit was.
Yeah, I can imagine.
When the cell blocks were stuffed with inmates and the sounds and the smells. And,
I was going to say all the sweat and
it was
everything.
When did it stop becoming a prison?
At the end of 1990s when it closed, and they moved him out by bus. But I remember the first time I went in there, you go through that guard shack,
Central Guard, yeah,
and they put a ultraviolet light stamp on your hand, and it says visitor, and you hold it up under the light, and it says visitor. And I asked the guy who was working at the shack, I said, okay, what happens if this gets, because I was there to interview the warden, I said, what happens if this gets rubbed off while I'm in here today? And he looks at me and he goes, well, then you don't get to leave.
Yeah.
So I literally walked around like this the whole time I was in there, saying, nope, nobody touch his hand.
Yeah.
Nobody even think about brushing this off, because I thought it was serious.
I'd ask for 10. Give me 10 more stamps, please.
Yeah, I need to stamp my hand. I'm going to put my foot. Yeah, but I mean, it's a scary place.
Yeah.
So do you have an obligation to say, okay, scary building, great venue, guys, we've really got to bring our game up to that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it has to be that way, from outside to inside, from props to actors to everything. You try to make sure you're at the top of the game, which can be difficult. I mean, setting up a room is one thing, but an actor executing the room is a totally different thing. Right. So it's like, you got to train them up, and we do actor training, and we do a big rehearsal, which is coming up, to try and give them ideas what they can do and how to scare in those certain rooms. But it's a big undertaking, because I'm kind of old fashioned. I'm progressive in the fact that I want to keep up with everything as far as like the new trends in the industry. But there's certain things, like, to me, an actor will always be the center. Right. No matter, I haven't seen an animatronic that can take the place of an actor, really.
No, wait a second. We did have Templeton. I mean, the animatronic rat head. That was kind of fun.
It's not animatronic, though. That was controlled by a person.
That's true. I was still,
yeah. You can, yeah.
Yeah, I controlled it. Yeah,
that's right.
I forgot about that, yeah. Well, it seemed animatronic.
Do your actors, is it fun watching them? Did they get excited about just the space? Because I'm sure some of them just go to, whatever, old churches or whatever, there's a haunted house, and it's like the OSR obviously has a different feel.
Yeah, they do. We get actors from all over, and I actually do a ticket trade type of situation with local hotels, because we get so many actors that aren't from here because they want to come and work at the Reformatory. Cool. You know what I mean? So they're into it.
I remember one year that I was working out there, we had, I don't remember how many, but a lot of actors came down from Cedar Point. Mm-hmm. They were doing the Hollow Weekends up there. Yeah. And they came down and participated because they loved the idea of working inside OSR. And they were pretty cool folks. They were, yeah. And we actually got a few, I've still got one who works for me that was from that group. Because, I mean, Cedar Point is, obviously Cedar Point. Right. But they're more family friendly, which it's not that we're not, but we just kind of take it case by case. You know what I mean? So if there's a child that's obviously rattled, we don't go crazy on that child. Right. But at Cedar Point, from what I was told, I can't say this is how it is, they're not allowed to be as bloody, as gory, as, scary in certain areas. So they come and got to go wild with us, and, they dug it, and they were great. I remember going back to what was the show before it was Incarceration? Ink and the Clink.
Ink and the Clink.
I came out and worked Templeton that one year.
Mm-hmm.
And Templeton, for folks that don't know, was this giant rat head that had handles, and the mouth would move, and the eyes would light up,
glow,
and made noise. And the
it was
idea
huge.
is people would walk by in the hallway, and Templeton would come out. And it had a rubbery type nose, and it was a good time if I could actually bump into
I
somebody.
love running that thing.
Yeah. So I was working at Ink and the Clink, and a grandmother came by, and she had her grandson. And you don't know who's coming by. I mean, when you're running Templeton, because you can't see.
Yeah.
So they come by. I run Templeton out. This little boy, don't bring little kids into this.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say there's an age limit, and we'll talk about that.
Sure.
But he freaks out. I mean, he drops down. He's crying. I pulled Templeton back. I ran out. His grandmother's trying to help him up. I dropped down. I said, dude, it's okay. It's just fake, man.
me.
That was me running that thing. And so then I think you came out. They ended up helping him go back out the way he came in before he ran into.
Yeah, he wasn't ready.
No,
That little boy was Hayden.
It wasn't.
No, it was not.
I mean, there is an age. So talk about that for a little
Yeah.
bit about what age folks should be, either chronologically or mentally, before they come into something like Blood Prison.
Well, so we do 10 and up, and we do it, it was like, well, 10. I'm like, yeah, we do 10, but here's why. Nowadays, there's nothing that surprises kids. You know what I mean? They've seen everything at this point, even at 10 years old, unfortunately. But we also institute so like if a child's scared, we give them these little glow sticks. Mm-hmm. So they can hold this glow stick, and then the actor knows, we're not going to mess with that kid because he's legit scared. But he can still go through. He can still come in, because a lot of them want to come in and see it.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're very loud and very intense. So it's like, they get to the point where they're just like, they've had enough. But if a little kid can hold that glow stick up to an actor and the actor cowers away, that makes the kid, gives them a little confidence and
power.
Yeah. It's just I've got this,
No, smart.
And it works really well, and then that way we don't have to escort kids out or whatever. They can still come and have fun, and kind of feel good about them being scary, and it maybe might want to think to them, oh, I scared him. I could probably do that one day.
Mm-hmm. And do you just offer the glow stick to any kid who wants it?
Yeah, pretty
any
much.
adult too, or just the kid?
I was gonna say, I
like
needed
if
a glow
someone
stick the first time I came through.
No.
I mean,
is there like an age cap for the glow stick?
65 and older, you get no glow stick.
I guess we didn't look at it that way. Should there be an age cap? Look, if you're 15, sorry, dude.
Right.
Oh, please. Oh,
I can tell you some wild stories that people have done in there.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the music itself, I remember working in the dark maze, and when you would fire up that music at night,
Yeah.
the music itself it was enough to scare me, and I was working there. And I mean, it's very intense, the music.
And it's even more now, especially because that was in the beginning part,
Right.
but it's like all over. We've got systems put in place now. I mean, we've just grown and more, but we get like a lot of and a lot of it's just whatever. It's just whoever doing a review or whatever. But the one big review place always gives us like soundtrack of the year almost every year, because, we put a lot into it, and sound is just as important. And you could walk through a haunt and there's no sound, which I have walked through certain haunts, and I was like, this is
missing something.
this is not good. And it's not that it didn't look good. It's not that the actor was good, but it was like, there's no ambient noise. What's going on?
Right.
It's important.
Yeah.
It's
You
layers.
almost like hear the actors shuffling around.
Yeah,
and
you could.
it
Yeah, you
ruins
could
it.
hear your footsteps walking through, and it's like, that's bad.
Yeah.
Well,
You
I
know.
mean, imagine the movie Jaws without the soundtrack.
Yeah,
If
It's-
there was no
sound design is important.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
it's a fish.
you don't even have to. You just make that sound. Everybody
Yeah,
knows what you're talking
Exactly.
about. It's just as important as the visual.
Now, I know one of the things that you do. This is obviously a year-round gig. And people, you only have the haunt open at Halloween and then Incarceration. I think you still do a Christmas thing too.
Yes.
But in terms of preparation, it's a year-round thing. And I know that you like to go see other haunts. You like to go to scare conventions. What are some of the new things out there you're seeing in terms of new things for haunts?
Well, I mean, there's a lot actually. I mean, every year there's different things that trend. So, not this past year, but the year before, AI was huge. Like, I mean, it was like we went out there, and it was just like all these seminars on AI and how AI can help your attraction and this, that, and the other. Maybe it's advertising or concept design. You know what I mean? So that was kind of something that we were just like, wow, that's really interesting because how can AI help? Well, there's certain companies that had like legit props that ran on AI. So like we could walk up to this one prop. It was like this robot looking dude. It was like a brain. I can't remember what it was called. It was like this big brain. And you would say something to it and they had a microphone and everything. And you'd be like, dude, you're a total douchebag. And it would like just quip right back to you. And you're just like, holy shit. And it would just say something back. And you know, so there's a bunch of people around it. So that was thing. But the funny thing about that is this past convention we went to, nothing. It was all gone. Now, I don't know why. I mean, I could dig in and try and find out. What I think is because we're very artist influence community.
Right.
So a lot of the artists were just like, this is bad for us, which, I mean, conceptually it is. I mean, you're not doing that, you know. Do I use it? Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's like we did these living portraits where we shot our actors and, you know, doing certain things. And then we made pictures out of them that we put on the walls. So like one picture, for instance, was we have 3 pictures in a row, and then I have my doll character on the top, and then I have just a regular kind of just Victorian-looking girl, and then another doll carrier on the bottom. Well, that middle person, the doll carrier on the top drops a noose down into the other picture, and it goes around this girl's neck, and she hangs her, and she's like, you know, just hanging her. That was an AI. We shot all of that.
Okay.
The background image in that photo was all AI. Because like, hey, we just need a library or an old cabin or a house.
Yeah, create this for
and
me.
it just creates it and boom, and there it is. So it's like, I'm not going to lie. I've used it a few times, and you go down a rabbit hole when you start going into that. I'm sure you guys have looked into it and done things, and you just start going, oh my gosh. And it just keeps getting more and more, you know, it just keeps getting better,
right?
You know, and people
really
are
the tip
using
of
it.
the iceberg. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's crazy. Yeah. So that was something that was definitely trending, which isn't so much anymore. There was this robot, I can't remember what it was called. Oh, Chamber Creations came out with these and we were all just like, just watching this thing. So you put a silicone mask on it, and you could program it to do whatever you wanted to do, like, you out of here, you know, and the silicone mask it moves really well. So the jaw movement, you're just like, wow, it was just amazing. And it was more than just, you know, a peekaboo controller and some, you know, airlines. It was like servos, and the eyes were blinking, and it was moving around, and it was very realistic, you know, in its movements and everything. So that was something that was just like, holy man, that's just crazy.
What are those conventions like? I mean, do they get big attendance? Is it attended mainly by folks like yourself that are professionals in the business, or is there a lot of just average scare fans who just want to go and see cool shit?
So traditionally, it was made for guys like me who run haunted attractions or escape rooms, because when you buy tickets, you've basically got to put down, I'm Vic Amesquita, Blood Prison, Mansfield, Ohio. And if people that come with you, I mean, you could technically like bring your kid or whatever, but they've got to be a crew. Like they ask you, what do they do in the attraction? He's an actor, he's a manager, you know, or whatever. He's a security, whatever it may be. So they ask you straight up, like, how is this person affiliated with you? So it's basically for just people like us.
Okay.
You know what I mean? For the most part. Now they have other ones too that are kind of open to the public, but for the most part, the main one is kind of just geared toward haunted attractions.
Now, we talked about AI and animatronics, but you mentioned it earlier, kind of the heart of what you guys do are actors. How many actors will you have this year? I think over 100, what I've seen out there in the past. And what's their role, and how do you keep track of that many people? Because once the lights go out, it's a pretty dark place.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, count-wise on actors, we're over 100. We're probably around 120 at this point. And every area's got a zone leader. So, like the West Cell Block and Solitary, the East Cell Block, the house, the basement, they all have got a zone leader in that area. And the zone leader has an assistant, if you will, who, like, their main job is to just make sure everybody's good and get a break when they need it. But that's kind of how we keep track of everybody. Plus, we got in-house staff that go around and kind of keep an eye on the actors and make sure they're not getting assaulted or anything like that. And if there's an issue, we call in the Mansfield Police Department. Right. But that's rare that we have to call the police like actually into the haunted attraction. But we have all those things in place to keep track of everybody because it is big and it does get dark and confusing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been working in there, and it's easy to not figure out where the hell you are.
Yeah,
and
you can get lost pretty easy.
Now, people associate Blood Prison with Halloween, but we talked about this a little bit. You guys do a lot more than that. You do a Christmas thing. You do incarceration. How was the Ink Haunt this summer, and what other plans do you have going on?
So the Ink, first of all, Ink is awesome. I love that event. I mean, it is so much fun. The event was really good. We did really good. They changed the layout a little bit this year, so that was kind of a different thing. It was made to add more people, which it did. This year, it was great. Every year we do it is great. The cool thing about doing the haunted house at Ink is sometimes we get some of these artists that come in and want to check out the attraction. Mm-hmm. You know, this year wasn't as heavy as it was the previous year. But we still had some band called Big Ass Truck, who is apparently like really popular that I don't really know as well. Another band asked me who was coming in, and I said, well, Big Ass Truck just went in, and they all started like screaming and chanting Big Ass Truck. It was so funny that we were just like, and the bad thing is because I'm an old man now, and I'm just into what I'm into. Right. So like I would have to go outside, and like when artists would come in, I'd be like, okay, who are you guys?
Who are you guys? Are you actually playing here this year?
So they would tell me. And then this one band called Dark Divine came in, and they were really cool. They did this whole big video on us. But, I mean, we've had the Slipknot singer come through. The Pantera singer came through. Guy from Shinedown, the guitar player from Shinedown came through. Machine Head. I mean, Jose Mangan, like usually. He didn't come through this year, but he comes through about almost every year because he's big into it. Right. Rita Haney came through, who was with the Dimebag Hardware thing. I mean, it was just, it's just always somebody. So Ink is a lot of fun to run.
When Zac and I were out there this summer, I noticed, or we both noticed, Warden's widow walking around, and I mean, that shit's scary in broad daylight. So, to me.
Well, and
that's because she's taller than you are.
Yeah, that's intimidating.
She's taller than most people.
Yeah.
No, she's great too, and she's very like involved. We get very involved with the Ink because it's just good promoting, and it's for us. So she'll there's videos of her. They just posted one from Ink of her in the full makeup in the barricades, like kind of jamming out to one of her favorite bands. And then we get kind of side stage access a lot of the time. So we got to watch like Marilyn Manson and who else was it? Not Slaughter to Prevail, but a few of the other bands we got to watch on side stage and get photos and everything. A lot of the bands will kick you off after a while because you got to have their pass or whatever. Right. But they treat us pretty good, you know what I mean? So it's it's a lot of fun.
They had a nice media tent out there this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have that every year.
Yeah, we were out there. The Slaughter to Prevail show was crazy.
It was. Yeah. It was nuts.
In the rain.
The rain was the worst this year.
Oh.
Yeah. It was the worst for rain this year, but people still came. Yeah. It was jammed.
It's summer in Ohio.
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson strikes me as somebody who went to a haunted house when he was 6, got scared, and said, I'm just going to do this the rest of my life.
We were released. I'm not a huge Marilyn Manson fan. I mean, it's like he came out in the 90s big, and I was kind of a lot younger then. But so I know who he is, and I've been to his shows, and he's always put on a great show. So we were getting our list of artists that were going to come through Blood Prison this year, and he was on it. And I was just like, oh, this is going to be cool. So I'm getting my media people together going, we got to get footage of Manson going into the prison, going into the attraction. That would be just good stuff. He bailed. He bailed at the last minute, so it kind of sucked. I was like, damn. So that didn't happen this year. So that was a little bit of a, kind of a letdown. But for the most part, we do a lot of that. The Christmas show is great too. People love that Christmas show. Mm-hmm. We're doing 2 weekends this year because Ink sold out for us on Saturday and Sunday, not Friday, but we sold every ticket. So, and then last year for the Christmas show, we almost sold. I mean, we were like maybe 100 tickets shy of a complete sellout. And we were just floored by that. And we were like, oh my gosh. And we get such good reviews. So we, started, well, maybe we should do 2. My idea was to do just the Saturday before and then Friday and Saturday. But my marketing guys are like, dude, let's do 2 Fridays and 2 Saturdays. I'm like, all right, let's see how it works. But yeah, so we're going to do 2 weekends, and there's a haunt convention that we're going to do at the Reformatory.
Okay.
So we're going to be open for that. That's going to be in May.
Is that the first time you've hosted a convention out there?
Actually, no, there was one. It was in 2019 was the first one we did. The Ohio Haunt Association came in and did, we opened up, and the Trail of Nightmares opened up. They were supposed to, but I think it rained, so they couldn't. But then the schoolhouse over here in Perrysville opened, and we opened. So that was in 2019, and when COVID hit, it all got nixed.
Right.
So we were, it just kind of never went away. But I get people almost every year. They're like, "You ever going to do that again?" So I got in the ear with them. I was like, "Let's just do it. Let's just, the Reformatory will be open to it, and they were definitely open to it. So we worked it out, and we're doing it this May 2026.
It's such a good, on your website, I just got to read this because it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Blood Prison isn't make-believe. It's built on real stone, real steel, and real suffering. The Ohio State Reformatory locked up the worst of the worst for nearly a century, and the walls still remember.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice. The walls remember.
It's just great
Oh.
marketing.
Oh, if
copy.
those
And
walls
it's
could talk.
It's true.
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah.
it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, the
It's-
primary things I wrote about out there were inmates murdering inmates.
Yeah.
I mean, there were things, a lot of bad things happened inside that place.
There's
and
definitely some actual,
Yeah.
I don't know.
If
Sure.
if ever there are actual ghosts and haunted things, and I don't know that there are, it doesn't really care. I like to be scared of things anyway. But if ever there was a place that should be haunted,
Yeah.
it's that damn place.
Yeah.
It's absolutely frightening.
It's hard to, because people ask me all the time, have you ever seen anything out there? Like, have I seen anything? No. Have I had things happen that I can't explain? Yeah, a few times.
Yeah.
Where it was just like, that's kind of weird. I can't explain that. But I'm with you. I'm like, I'm not huge into it. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. I mean, it doesn't have any effect on me.
When I saw The Exorcist when I was in whatever year that was, I was a teenager, and Linda Blair sat up in bed and her head turned completely around, and she was spitting green things out of her mouth. I didn't say, I wonder if that's real.
Yeah.
I just said, oh my God, look at that!
Yeah.
It scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
It just, Freddy Krueger scared the crap out of me, and Jason scared the crap.
Yeah.
And I knew none of that stuff. None of it scared me as bad as what happened to Ned Beatty, and whatever, and whatever that.
There's that.
Yeah, that.
And Deliverance.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, that one scared me, and yeah. So don't ever Ned Beatty anybody.
Yeah.
But, now you always tell me like a static haunt is kind of a dying haunt. Without giving it all away, give us some touch on some highlights, new stuff that you've got planned for this year.
So we did a couple new rooms up in the house, like the very first area of the attraction, the Warden's Widow's Manor, or if you will. So we redid a couple rooms in there. And then in the cell blocks, we redid some stuff. I hear every year, not every year, but almost every year, I always hear about the prison. It's a prison, so we theme it prison, esque prison garb. Everybody's wearing some sort of inmate uniform, or guard, But everyone always asks me, can you go into the cells? And it's like, well, no, not really. I mean, if you have a touch pass, you might find yourself in a cell. You might get drugged in there.
You might get pulled in, yeah.
What's a touch pass?
So a touch pass is you pay extra and you wear a glow necklace, and then the actors see that and they're like, oh, this guy can be touched. Now, it's not, anything inappropriate or, nobody's going to get picked up or tackled or anything like that. Like in a dark area, someone might grab an arm and start maybe, pulling you a little bit, or like hands on the shoulders.
Gotcha.
Stuff like that. Just because, with the touch, it jolts you a little bit more, So the willing participants, and you got to be 18 or over to get the touch pass. So that's what that is.
Okay.
It's just an add of intensity.
Okay.
For the
and you're
attraction.
talking about the new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people always want to go in the cells, and aside from that, you don't actually, there's no pathway into a cell. Well, this year there will be.
Okay.
So it's like, we're like, look, they always want to go through cells, and they always want this prison escape experience, which makes sense.
Right.
And we've wanted to do it. So we're doing it this year where, you'll be going through some cells. You'll be escaping through a tunnel, if you will. So yeah, it's going to be a little more we just want to, keep it the prison theme, and we figured let's do that. So we're doing that this year, and it's gonna be pretty cool. Everybody I've shown it to so far is like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I got to come out and see that. I'll get out and get some pictures. And
Newsman on the road.
Yeah, newsman on the road.
There you go. Yeah.
But I remember, we're talking about touch passes, working in the dark maze, and you're absolutely right. You're over here in a corner. You watch people walk by, and it was a woman walking behind her boyfriend, and she was obviously holding, kind of trying to duck behind him and glow pass, touch pass on.
Yeah.
And I just walked behind them for a few steps, and then I just reached up and I put my hands on her shoulders. Didn't say anything, and she literally freaked out. I mean, it made the whole evening worthwhile because she let out a scream that would curl my hair if I had any.
Yeah.
It was just that she had it on.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend turned around and he wasn't happy and nobody was happy. And I'm like, hey, have a good time.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Well, and that's why you got to pay for it,
right?
Because it's like, if we were just to give them out, then you're going to have more of that. Yeah. But they're paying for it, so they want it.
Yeah.
Right.
The biggest problem we have with touch passes is some people are just like, dude, I want to be chained up in a chair and someone just beat the crap out of me. I'm like, well, we're not going to do that.
All right. So you've got the wrong house for that.
That's a different thing.
Yeah. So I'm just like, but I didn't get touched enough, So I've let people go through again. You didn't get touched enough? Okay. Yeah. Come with me. And then I take them back in and I radio ahead and be like, one's coming through with the purple touch pass, need touched a little bit more. Yeah. And I've done that before just to, keep everybody happy. But on big nights, it's hard because, it's like there's
so
a lot of people. Oh, dude, it's crazy. Yeah. And then a lot of them buy touch passes. You get a big group of, 10 people, and they're all wearing touch passes. Like, you get to the point where it's almost like a conveyor belt of touching. You're like,
Gotcha.
Wow.
Right.
I always say the first time and the only time I've been through, I will say, but I think the biggest haunt for me was before I even stepped foot inside. I get up to the counter and my payment ripped. I had cash and it ripped. I will say the nice people that were doing the ticketing helped me out.
Oh yeah,
and they were able to help me. But I mean that set off the scare. I was scared I wasn't going to be.
That's because his hands were shaking so much.
He's scared just listening to us.
I am scared. I am.
He is frightened right now.
I am. I've got to go back. I think though.
Yeah, you should.
Face
time. Your fear.
It's time. Zach,
so there's. I've had some things. There's only one thing that actually scared me. Not I don't want to say scared. I was like, oh my God. But it was just like something, it was just like, oh geez. So I was giving a tour to somebody from Inc., right? Mm-hmm. And we were in solitary confinement, and I was pointing out the area where a bad thing had happened. I won't bring it up, but something bad. So yeah, this happened right here. And as I was telling them that, this big, like, I would just say it's a hunk of plaster, like fell and boom, it hit. We all jumped. We were like, gee, we kind of just laughed. And, like, we walked out. Yep. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, so we walked out of there. And I sent them to wherever they were going next. And they were thanking me thanks for the tour. Yeah, no problem. I was like, well, I better go back in and clean that up because, I mean, it looked like a big piece. And I remember it just kind of breaking up on the floor. So I go back in. It wasn't even 10 minutes. I go back in. All that stuff is gone. No. Wow. Like, there's nothing on the – and, I'm not one of these fantastic – let me tell these stories. Because, again, I don't really care about the paranormal stuff. It's not – I've never been into it. Mm-mm. And I went back, and I'm, like, looking everywhere. I'm like, where the hell is it? Yeah. So because I was just going to grab a broom and sweep it up and, So I look up on the ceiling because I thought it came from the ceiling. Well, it couldn't have came from the ceiling. The ceiling's steel. So there ain't no plaster up there. But the walls are bricks. I'm like, well, maybe it's a piece of brick or mortar. There's nothing on the walls where a brick had fallen out or mortar had fallen out. So I was just kind of baffled by that, and I was just like, wow, okay. Yeah. So that's kind of the one I tell most people because they like, what has happened that, you can't explain. I can't explain that. Yeah. I don't know where all that debris went, and I don't know where it came from.
But it was all gone.
That's a legit story. And I had witnesses. That's the only reason why I tell that story, because I had people with me that can attest to it.
Now, folks, Blood Prison opens September 26th, is open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night through November 2nd. The haunt ends just before Election Day, which is a scary enough event for all of us.
Every year.
Vic, what should folks know about tickets to Blood Prison? How can they get them? What's some of the prices look like? And anything else that we haven't talked about in terms of this year's event?
So we're also open 2 Thursdays.
Okay.
So I want to say it's the 16th. and the 22nd. I'm not sure what Thursdays those fall on, but the weekend of the 18th,
16th and the 23rd.
16th and 20th. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So those Thursdays we're also open from 7 to 11.
Okay.
Because those weekends are usually pretty. Those are the busiest weekends, and that extra day kind of smooths things out a little bit. So we are open on those Thursdays as well. Tickets are all sold online on the website at bloodprison.com.
Okay.
So you got to get them ahead of time, and we do the time ticketing. And if it's something, if you're coming to the event this year, and I say this every year, if you buy a ticket for 7:00 or 9:30, whatever the ticket time is, do not show up an hour early. Everybody's caught in the old days of haunted houses where you got to get early so you're not there waiting in line.
Yeah.
It's not the case anymore. The earlier you get there, the longer you're going to have to wait. The closer you get there to your time, the less you will have to wait.
Because you can't go in before your time.
You cannot
So
go
if
in
you're
before
10
your time.
minutes early, you might not be late in this scenario.
We
As
always
the old
tell
saying
everybody
goes.
10 minutes early.
There you go.
That's the way. It says it when you buy the ticket. Do not arrive no more than 10 minutes early.
You know, time ticketing might be the greatest
yes.
invention
Yeah.
that you guys have come up with. Because I remember the bad old days before we had time ticketing out there, and
Brutal.
I remember taking a break one night at like 11:30, and I'm supposed to close at midnight. I think
Yeah.
it was closing at midnight, and I walked outside
Yeah.
and I looked, and all I could see is car lights going on 545
Yeah.
in both directions as far as I could see.
Yeah.
I said, "Holy crap!" And I think we got out at like 4 in the morning.
It was close to 4 when we
Yeah.
left. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like they just, and because once people get inside, you got to let them go through. They're paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, now time ticketing is just got to be the bee's knees.
It really is. And it helps parking. So we're not like, because back in those days, it's like, where are we going to put all these cars?
Right.
So it's like we're using, like Ricky would let us use their upper lot. And then we'd use the lot across the street, fill up our lot. And then I think Edge, or what, I don't know what that building was down the street. I think we'd park down there. It was just nuts.
Yeah.
So that was the only good thing about COVID was everybody went to time ticketing. So there wasn't such a big group of people.
Right.
Because, everyone's like, oh, you can't be around people 6 feet apart, which, whatever. How are you going to tell all these people stay 6 feet away? It's like, you can't do that.
Right.
But that was one of the things. And like, we're not going back. It's like, we'll never go back. And there are still haunts out there that are like, nah, we never went that way. We want the whole experience. Waiting in line is an experience.
Yeah.
And it's just like, not for 3 hours, man.
My wife came out one of those years and stood in line for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
She goes, I've never waited that long on you in my life. And I said, well, I completely understand that.
Well, it's just hard because like if you wait for 3 hours, you're gonna be like,
Right. You start thinking.
you're gonna get in there and you're just gonna be like over it.
Yeah, I'm done.
A little bit of
Yeah.
suspense
Yeah.
is
Boo.
good, but
Yeah. Boo.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now outside entertainment, the Warden's Widow could walk. They love it too.
Yeah.
Because they go. So when we walk out and walk the lines, it's different people almost every time.
True that.
So you're not seeing the same person because they're still in line for 2 to 4 hours.
Oh, look.
waiting.
Oh, look. It's the guy with the chainsaw again. Yay.
Yep.
Boo.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's better.
All right. Well, we will put links to bloodprison.com and things about the show. And, folks, we are going to have to wrap up today's show on that note. Many thanks to Vic Amesquita for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks again to all of you for listening to the Newsman Weekly. I'll be back in a second to put a bow on this week's episode. But until then, remember what Mark Twain once said. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything.